Good afternoon, I'm Dave Thompson. I'm the Education Director here at the Academy of Cleaning Excellence. If you're looking for something that is positive, proactive, and you're looking to advance those healthy best practices, then you're at the right show today. This afternoon, a couple of my students from our master's class that we have here each week in Orlando, or every month in Orlando, they've been with me here this week, and we're going to talk to them about their learning experiences that they had. So come on back after this message, and we'll learn a little bit more from these two guys.
Live from Orlando, Florida, and the ACE Learning Center at Gym Supply, it's Beyond Clean with Dave, a weekly broadcast for professionals in environmental health services around the world. Your host is David Thompson, Director of Education for Gym Supply, and his mantra is, I am a janitor and I save lives. And now let's listen to Beyond Clean with Dave and today's guest at the ACE Learning Center in sunny downtown Orlando.
Okay, each and every Friday afternoon I talk about three words. If you've been here before, you've heard them. Healthy, positive, and proactive. Now, today I have Al Ball III with Diverse Professional Solutions. He's based out of Tampa. And I also have Javier, oh gee, it's a live show, folks. Javier Couture from Modern Cleaning Technologies. He's also out of Tampa. Now, these two gentlemen, they've been with me here at our master's class that we hold here in Orlando, well, several times a year. Now, Tom Sullivan, we're going to talk about him because he's not here with us. He had to leave and go back to Charlotte.
Yes, okay. He's on his way back.
Right, he's on his way back now. So we're going to talk a little bit about him, but not really that bad, folks. What he did is he left us a few statements, a few things he wanted us to talk about on the show since he wasn't here. And I think one of the things he wanted to talk about first, fellas, is the fact that, you know what, during class, he was very interested in the SDS sheet. And since he's the one that sees the bids and puts out the RFPs, he had a few thoughts.
And I thought, I had a few thoughts with Tom, and we kind of combined them, but I thought showing up with an SDS book and maybe one nitro glove to let your client know that you're up to date with the standards, that you're here for your client as well as your employees.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something that's really important. I mean, it's essential in knowing, bringing up that point, that knowing that the SDS is so important and how it's changed, modernized or whatever. It's really good.
I think that's the thing is that doing something a little different isn't really a problem, and it actually speaks. And what he was learning was it actually speaks to the fact that we know what we're talking about, and that's what the education class has been all about. That was what his whole point was, is do something a little different. Make that person realize that you know what you're doing, and if that product is healthy, that was his other point about that. And you have proof of that with the SDS.
Yes. And it can bring you revenue.
Absolutely.
Thinking outside of the box, because you're in competition with the competitors. So if you come in thinking outside of the box, you already have the information to educate the client on with the SDS sheets and the nitro glove.
And I think that was his point. He sits on the other side. He initiates the contracts, makes sure that you have the contracts in place. But that was something he saw that would be helpful if you were a building service contractor coming into him. Now, the other thing is using electronic data, electronic means was something that he thought would be better than just coming in with a stack of papers.
That was his point. Absolutely. I think that where Tom really made a really good point, and I think we deal with this every day, that how our society has gone with the expansion of technologies to where everything is technology based. So that if you don't have a good impact or implementation in that, it can really affect your business.
And also, when you do your walkthroughs, you want to be as detailed as you can. So you might be able to give the customer or the client a picture that they might not know or might have seen. That way, even if you don't get the bid, at least you can give them a corrective action for them.
Well, when we talked about the inspection part during class, I think that was on Wednesday, we talked about the inspection part, and that was one of the things he kept asking, can you put a picture in there? In front, and then Zach came in with the phone and showed us, right from your phone you can put a picture in,
right.
And that was that presentation in digital form that he kept talking about. So I think one of the other things is when we're communicating with each other, we're not on the party line anymore, right, guys? We don't have to plug into. Wait a minute, you don't even know what a party line is. You're too young. But I think that was his other point: is how do we communicate today?
And I think the best way is email. You get a timestamp, date.
And texting.
And texting, yes.
Yeah, texting is really the major thing. I think it's come to where it's the most accepted and most comfortable way for everybody to transmit their messages.
So what is the electronic data? What does that do for us, really?
It's CYA. You get to cover yourself, and it also gives you, a point of reference. You have that timestamp. So if I can say, well, I called Dave last month, he never returned my call. He said, well, I did return your call, I left a message. Or I can say I emailed Dave and he never responded to my email. Then I can show Dave the email.
And so this is part of what we talk in class is, this isn't all just about running a floor machine or spraying chemical on a wall. This is how we communicate in business. So when you come to the master's class, we're talking about all of this stuff. And I think Tom was telling me when he walked in, he said, I'm a hands-on guy. I don't do this sitting in front of the computer with paper. That's all he did all week.
Yes.
Well, not all week. We did a little bit of other stuff. So we've covered Tom's things. Since he wasn't here, that's all that we're going to talk about. Well, I don't know, maybe not. Anyway, there were some things that you guys wanted to bring up and talk about. So, show's yours.
Well, I'll take over one. Me coming out of Tampa, Florida, I thought I was a green, clean company, I think. I thought. And coming through the master class, it showed me that my process and what I'm doing, the only green I'm giving them is on my shirt. So now what I have to do now is go back and implement the steps and process to do, to get to be a certified green company. It's not just getting, an Eagle logo stamped on your on your chemicals. It's more than that. It's the process.
So don't tell me you're giving up the green shirt.
No, I'm gonna hang up the green shirt and put on the blue shirt, and I'm gonna earn the green shirt now. So it's gonna take a while for me to put the green shirt back on. So, but it'll be in the near future.
So I think that was the thing is we were talking about green cleaning. What did we? I know I could tell you what it is from my viewpoint, but whenever you were here in class, what does green mean then?
Well, green means it's the overall look or the overall approach to be able to get something processed as to where there does not need to be any environmental issues that are affected.
Well, who's the first person in the environment?
Yourself, person.
Yeah, the person using it, right?
Or green is just a healthy impact. So when you have a healthy building, you have a green building. So it's not just about cleaning or green clean. It's about the process of creating a healthy building.
Right. I mean, that's the whole issue, folks. It's not, if we said this all the time in class, what is clean? Well, that's a perception. That's what somebody sees. But healthy is actually what affects our health. And there's so many impacts. We could talk about this for hours, I'm sure, because we did this week. Javier, there was one particular thing I know that you kept harping on all the time, so let's give him a chance to go on his thing there.
Well, to be what I found, I took a lot of good things out of the class this week, many things, but I think to me in particular was no-touch cleaning and the theory of green cleaning itself. But in particular, no-touch cleaning because, I'm new to this business. This is a startup for me. I'm beginning, my wife and I. And, it's something that I never knew or thought really that this existed in this business. I always thought that, janitorial cleaning or commercial cleaning or whatever was just a guy with a mop and some chemicals. That's it. So, I didn't know that there was a machine or there's something or a basis out there that existed that you can actually clean something on without not having to touch it or doing anything like that. Hence our tie-back machine, which is fantastic.
And your no-touch system, it also helps you. It saves on product, it saves on time because let's face it, we're in business to make money. So we're here to make money, but we also want to give our clients a healthy building. So in that, you have the solution where you spray down, so which covers that toilet or that sink or the urinal 100% versus a spray bottle. So you're getting a more effective cleaning, more efficient cleaning, and it's faster.
So one of the things that we did here in class is we showed the conventional way of even running a kaivac, a no-touch, which you didn't know, you've been using, but you know, folks, they also found out there's another way to use a kaivac, and that's with engineered water, no chemicals added. I think you were like, whoa, wait a minute. You were over here playing with the machine, you wanted to know more about it.
Very interested in it, and I think what happens is you take water, salt, and electricity, and you kind of do away with your chemicals. So I know Mr. Bobby on the other end might not like that because he's a chemical expert, but it takes away from us buying, and all chemicals are not harsh, but it just takes away from having Windex, having Bowl Cleaner, having Sheila Shine, or whatever you
minimizes it
have.
down to one product.
So what you saw in the pictures there, folks, is these guys had what we call a lance, that's the long thing, and it was rotating on the end. And when you use the electrolyzed water in there, you don't have to use a chemical and then rinse. It's a one step. So we took it from 3 minutes hand wiping of what you were talking about to 1 minute whenever we put chemicals in water. And then when you go to an engineered water, you even minimize that further in all cases. And here comes your profit and your ability, more sustainability to the whole program. I'm going to talk more about engineered water in a minute, but you know, I think there was also another one that the guys were all talking about, everybody was talking about, and that's cylindrical technology and all of the different types of floors that we've got here at the Academy.
Yes, absolutely. The LVT and using the machine, I used it for the first time the other day, and it was really, it's amazing how these cylindrical brushes really are so effective in doing that. I mean, as to the traditional rotational planing machine, it's really amazing.
Okay, LVT, folks, you heard him say it, luxury vinyl tile. Now, it's taking over the industry. Matter of fact, I even know that the Shaw Manufacturing, that manufactures most of the carpet in the United States, has even replaced some of their carpet manufacturing and using LVT. So what we talked about LVT, is it the same as the laminate that we have in our house?
No, being that it's just luxury, that means it's a little more delicate and it's a little more thin. So what I think a lot of us janitors are running into, we're treating the LVT as a VCT. We're putting wax on it, then we want to come back.
Okay, wait a minute. No.
We want to put floor finish
There we go.
on it.
I told you I'd get you. Even live on the air, I'm still going to get you.
Floor finish on it, and then we want to come back and strip it, which causes a problem because then we destroy the product.
Okay, so class isn't over, see, folks. I'm still conducting class. All right. So LVT, VCT, we're talking acronyms. See, the janitorial business isn't what most people think. We have to know what we're talking, and that's what this class all week has been about, knowing what you're talking about. So I'm going to ask a question, and we talked about this in class, but I don't think we rehearsed it. On Monday morning, what are you going to do as the first thing you learned from class? You know, because education is only good if you start using it.
Well, the first thing I'm going to do is create my wow statement. And my wow statement is how I reach out to potential customers to get them to say wow, and what I am doing to grasp their attention so that I can sell my solutions.
Well, myself, I'm two main things. The first thing is I'm going to go and get microfiber towels and get rid of all the cotton towels I have. Start.
Okay, all right.
The second thing is I'm meeting with my printer for my business, and now I have a master certification achievement to add to my effort, to my business cards, which is something that I want to do and let people know that question come up. They look at the business card and they say, "What is this green? What is that all about?" Give me a chance to explain.
I think that was one of the questions that both of you and Tom also asked is, what is this certification going to do for me? And quite honestly, certification doesn't do anything for you until you use it. And I think that's a great point. Putting it out there is one thing. Nobody requires us to have these certifications, folks. We're out here, we're doing this, we're advancing our knowledge, we're going to utilize that. My 3 words, healthy, positive, proactive. You're going to earn your green shirt.
Yes.
You're going to start talking about your green. Hey, we're all a healthy crew. Something you said earlier, and I want to bring that into this one here is, I didn't realize we're going to be all of a frat, You
Yes.
said that earlier.
Well, I think we should treat, the janitorial world as a fraternization, where we come together and we help each other. Most time we're cutthroat and trying to underbid, and we're not realizing that we're taking the value from a true clean and from us making money. So the thing is, I think we need to come, join together so that they know it does cost, because this is a process. This is not just, coming to gyms and buying a barrel and a mop bucket and, we're a company. We taking pride in what we do by getting the A certification, the GCI certification, the ISS certification, these certifications that helps us to kind of place us away from our competition.
I mean, not only did you pay for class, you took a whole week off from your businesses and your life to become educated. And this is something that, hey, the people out there that weren't here, they're not doing.
Yes.
That's true.
So we're all a group that we're going to communicate with each other. I say this with every class. What I produce as a facilitator is not probably as important as the camaraderie and what you hear us all talk about. And we will communicate with each other and help each other. Now, I wrote about 5 articles over the last few months, and CleanLink just started putting those out this week. There's 5 articles, and you might be seeing those here now. It's all about engineered water, which you guys talked about this week and we were using. The 5 articles are understanding water as a cleaning agent, 4 ways to alter water, understanding EPA establishment numbers, understanding the requirements for pesticides, and finally, how engineered water fits into sanitizing. I know that's an awful lot, but folks, here's the links. You can go there. You can find out all about all of this engineered water thing. That's part of being progressive, positive,
And proactive.
There you go. So I also want to tell you about, we just set up our newest academy. We're here in Orlando, but we just set up our first academy campus out in Georgia. We're going to be starting those classes here in August. It's going to be, our first one's going to be the master class, which is going to be the class that you took. And those dates are August the 7th through the 10th. Now, these guys found the education. You're probably saying, where can I find the education? If you go to the gym website, that is gymsupply.net. If you look for the education tab, you'll see our button and you'll find our live classes for our Orlando location, our 3 others, and soon to come on there, the Atlanta location as well. So I guess if you haven't gotten your enough information, please go to my Facebook page, like and share that page. It's what social media is all about. We're going to put these guys on there. Maybe you're already there. I don't know. You might be. Haven't looked at it myself this week. Anyway, our website is beyondcleanwithdave.com. Look there, find pictures from classes, what's coming up, articles that we're writing, and upcoming speakers. Now, speaking of our upcoming speakers, next week is going to be Michelle Thatcher. She's the CEO of the U.S. Green Chamber of Commerce. Michelle is going to come in and talk to me about green businesses and the future of the job creators, innovators, and leaders. She believes that education, certification, are all personal responsibilities. So, it should be an interesting conversation next Friday afternoon at 1 p.m. Right here, live from Orlando. I'm Dave Thompson. Keep your changes positive, healthy, and proactive. And remember my mantra, I am a janitor, and we save lives. Thanks a lot for watching.
See you.
Thanks, guys.
You have been listening to Beyond Clean with Dave and his guest. Sharing what you learn with others is what turns knowledge into professional development. Live classes are hosted each week at one or more of our 4 locations in Central Florida. Remember, janitors save lives. Be sure to put us on your schedule to watch next week as we present another broadcast of Beyond Clean with Dave.